hope you're ready. This is going to be exciting.
Here we go, car restarts up we go. Green flag is out and we're underway.
Just a few laps into this. Oh, the 37's getting loose. Oh, and he saves it. Oh, they're going 3 wide.
We've got a 5-way fight for the win of this race coming to 4 laps to go. He's gonna win it here in spectacular fashion.
Welcome back, Goat Locker Racing fans. It's Tuesday night, and that brings us another round of open-wheeled racing with the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series live on V-Speed. We stay in the heart of Indiana, but using the oval that we all know and love. I'm your host, Logan Threlkeld. Alongside me tonight, Jake Reeves as our co-host, and Michael McCarthy running the production truck with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. You take a look at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, our 2.5-mile course on the night. 9.2 degrees of banking in the corner, so very flat track will pose issues for these drivers tonight when it comes to aerodynamics. Now, last week on the road course, Rick Ray Vaughn was able to collect race win number 4 after bouncing back from Barber Motorsports Park, where Ray Vaughn did cross the finish line first, however, forgot to change tire compounds through the race, and that allowed Nathan Graham to yield his first victory of the season. Now, Jake, Ray Vaughn's been on a tear since the start of this season just over a month ago, and it's not been a walk in the park, but he's got 4 race wins, 5 naturally, but what are you expecting tonight out of these drivers? As they're going to be ripping around this 2.5-mile oval at well over 200 miles an hour.
Logan, I'll just be honest with you, buddy. I got to kind of quote my good friend Daryl Cartrip from the movie Cars, buddy. I got to tell you, my oil pressure's through the roof right now. I mean, if it gets any hotter, they got to tow me out of the booth, because I'm telling you, this is what we have been waiting for. This is what we all love to see. Indy cars at Indy. You can't make this up. This is literally as it all gets out. And honestly, this is just like what it is for the real drivers, for the real IndyCar guys. When they come to Indy, it's hallowed grounds. I mean, hell, this is where the Indy cars have their big race at. So everybody wants to win at Indy. Indy road course, however you want to look at it. But when you get to the big track, when you get to the oval, everybody wants to win this one. Everybody has had this circled ever since the start, ever since the very first race for the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. Everybody wants to win this one right here. We're fixing to see a knockdown, drag-out street fight here tonight.
That we are, as we bring up the schedule graphic now, right there on the bottom left corner of the graphic. Indianapolis Oval here tonight. We've got Detroit Street Circuit next time we take the track here, which will be in 2 weeks. Remember, next week is a bye week, setting up for the Goat Locker fundraiser race. Keep an eye out for that being hosted next Wednesday night. Then we get to Gateway, Milwaukee, Road America, Mid-Ohio, Iowa, Portland, Laguna Seca, and finishing it off, of course, at Michigan International Speedway right there in the middle of December. We have a action-packed schedule going through the back half of this season. A lot of road course racing where we've seen Ray Vaughn be able to shine, but a couple other drivers might have some good opportunities, because there are rules that have to be followed. We'll go ahead and bring up the race analysis on the afternoon as well. We've got 75 laps on the board here. That is 187.5 miles around Indianapolis. Pit road speed of 60 miles per hour, 4 tire sets available, 2 green-white checkered attempts if they are needed, and 65% fuel on the iRacing fixed setup. Now, we are already through our qualifying effort. It's about time to get this race started, and taking our Jam Printing and Promotions Pole Award is going to be the 77 of Ryzen Baker. Jam's Printing and Promotion Pole Award since forming in 2013. Jam has contributed printing and promotional sponsorships to more than 60 local nonprofits, with a primary focus on organizations that assist veterans, women, and children. They have been with Goat Locker Racing since the very beginning. Local and veteran certified. When they do well, they do good in the community. And starting to the outside of that 77 Ryzen Baker, it's going to be the 8 of Regis Clark in second. Our second row will consist of the 1, Rick Ray Vaughn, the man, the myth, the legend. We'll see if he can add number 5 to the column tonight. Next to the 05 of Nathan Graham. In row number 3, it's the 34 of Casey Jones, next to the 33 of Tyler Justice in 6th. In 7th, we have Jason Kristen in the 82, next to the 08 of Brian Provo in 8th. Last but not least, in our top 10, it's the 16 of Jamie Libke, next to the 91 of Christopher Gosh.
Jake Ellingston's going to roll off from P11 here this evening with Devin Smith to his outside out of row number 6, rolling off from P12. Zachary Menace in car number 31, flip the numbers around. Hell, that's where he starts at. P13 for Zachary Menace. And James Goshen, the bearded wonder, rolling off from P14 here tonight. Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner in the 42, rolling off from P15 here this evening, with Mike Browning in the 4, rolling off from P16. Jonathan Lawless starts in the 17th spot, with Skylar Daly rolling off in 18th. Jake Ham in the 85. Watch out for this man. Very good on ovals, especially when we had the Retro 87 series was very good in ovals, but those are way different cars than these. But Ham, watch out for him. He will start 19th here tonight, with Rob Kubat starting in P20.
In the 21st position, the 78 of Matthias Ezekiel Marcamini, next to the 36 of Samuel Yosef. In 23rd, it's the 58 of Doug Ellingson, next to the 50 of Kyle Deering. And last but not least, it'll be that 19 of Andrew Carnes, with Charles Abert taking up the position of race control tonight. So we have already made our way down into the short stretch between turns 1 and 2. Jake, how important will aerodynamics be here tonight? We briefly touched on that at the top of the show, talking about just how dangerous it can be, but whenever you get up to speeds of 220 miles an hour, can you describe to us just how much worse it really can be?
I mean, it can absolutely be treacherous. You're going to see a lot of guys pull some slingshots, especially on the straightaways. You might not see it in the middle of 1 and 2 and in the middle of 3 and 4. You really just don't see it. We get on that front stretch back straightaway, dear God. I mean, these suckers, they straight up just suck straight up to each other. You're going to see them shooting around like fighter pilots. Big thing about this, though, also with that, the draft will come into effect into the corners. Be very, very careful coming out of the corners. They get into a little bit of dirty air. these suckers will get absolutely straight up tight, will knock the whole front end off of these cars. So the air is going to play a big factor here tonight, Logan.
As the green flag drops, Ryzen Baker takes us down into turn 1. Keep an eye on the outside line. Regis Clark will try to slide in behind. Keeping a nose just outside of the 77. Want to make sure you have some sort of downforce on that front wing of the car here, as we are still packed up coming out of turn 2 for the first time down the backstretch tonight. Already looking 3 wide. None other than Rick Ray Vaughn going to the inside and all the way through to the lead.
My Lord, I am hearing Kenny Loggins' music playing in the background. Highway to the danger zone on lap 1. Coming off of turn 4. The 1 leading up. Rick Ray Vaughn. Here comes Baker. Baker's going to shoot down to the inside. No, sir. That is Regis Clark in the 8. The 1 and the 8, they're going to duke it out. Clark goes back to the front. Ray Vaughn back to second. Baker holds down in third. Graham and Provo, the top 5. Double wide back there for the 5th spot between Provo and Justice. But Regis Clark making a wild move. And look at them. Literally, they are all over the place. Up, down, left, right. Nobody's backwards yet. But they keep on like that, Logan. Somebody's going to end up backwards and up into the fence.
Very aggressive driving here on lap number 2. Looks like we've got most of the field single filed out. Now we're going to see those moves of just 1 or 2 positions at a time. The snaking is we've got one into the wall in turn number 4. That's going to be the 25 of Jonathan Lawless, who's going to have to tow it back to the pits and use that one and only fast repair on the night. Yellow flag does finally come out. We're going to slow this pack down from 200 plus miles an hour down to just 85 miles an hour once that pace car comes out on the track. Regis Clark, however, able to keep the 8 out ahead of Rick Ray Vaughn. Tyler Justice, Ryzen Baker, Nathan Graham, Christopher Gosh, Brian Provo, Jake Ellingson, Jason Kristen, and Devin Smith will make up the rest of our top 10. Take it back here on the V-Speed Instant Replay. A 3 wide situation puts Lawless into the wall. Oh, more contact. We've got carnage. That included way more drivers than I had counted. Doug Ellingson wrapped up in it. Jamie Lipke wrapped up in it. And Matthias Marcamini wrapped up in it as well.
Well, Logan, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I was talking about it a second ago about don't get tight, watch the air and everything else. I think that was just a full send gone wrong. Stuck it straight in the middle. And then after that, I mean, bam, goes up into the wall. Check this out. Marcamini, he basically said, hold my beer, watch this, I'm going for the fence, and he ended up doing it. But obviously, I mean, he had nowhere else to go. I mean, he gets, one driver Lawless, he gets shoved up into the fence. Marcamini trying to drive it through there. Bad break right there, literally, for Marcamini and JB Lipke as well. You see JB Lipke right on board with them, and see what happens here. And all of this kind of behind Jamie Lipke. And all of them, actually, Lipke was the one that got thrown up into the fence. Then Marcamini just comes out of nowhere, T-bones him. Wow, I mean, just all that kind of chaos, and all of it to do, maybe not with the air, Logan, but I think just a little bit of aggressiveness. We already saw guys going left, right, all over the place. Nobody was backwards at the time that I was talking about that until right now. You have Lipke, and then obviously you have Marcamini backwards. So it was bound to happen eventually, but certainly I did not expect to see somebody get airborne this early on.
Yeah, that was quite the aggressive move and misjudgment on my part. Those were 2 separate incidences with Jonathan Lawless into the wall in turn 4. That incident down into turn 1 between Ellingson, Lipke, and Marcamini. So that is what brought out our yellow flag, not the 25 in turn 4. Lawless able to use that pit, or that tow back to the pits, and the fast repair available on the night. Back on the track, 1 lap down now. Lipke and Marcamini will fall 2 laps down as they're waiting to get repaired. But we are going to have a single file restart here. And how important do you think that will play into a factor of the race outcome? That is the question that you have to ask yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's going to play a big factor. Just where everybody's at, how everything's going to be. I mean, these single file restarts is what's going to be the big part about it. We talk about pack racing all the time. When we go to Daytona, we go to Talladega, we go to New Atlanta, we go all those crazy things, and even Michigan. Michigan, especially for pack racing here with these Indy cars. But here, you see a little bit of movement on the outside. You see guys maybe trying something up there on the outside, especially if they got 4 freshies, they may try something. 9 times out of 10, it's straight down on the bottom, and much like we saw a while ago, everybody just gets single file, rides in a line, and that's basically what you're going to see. So we end up getting in this single file train that everybody's going to be riding around. They're going to restart like that, and it's going to be like that for a good bit, but it's all going to be about who's in the right position at the right time, at the right lap to be at the front and win it at Indy.
There's going to be a whole lot of momentum coming from the back of the pack using the draft of 20-plus cars that could potentially be ahead of them. We're going to have to wait to see if Lawless, Libke, and Marcamini can regain their laps back. It looks like Libke and Marcamini now just scored as 1 lap down, so not the 2 laps down I thought they were going to be. That's honestly not a terrible outcome considering what they just went through, but pace car lights are off. Might as well go ahead and give a quick shout out to our sponsor of the series here, Lincoln Tech. Lincoln's mission is to provide superior education and training to our students for in-demand careers in a supportive, accessible learning environment, transforming students' lives and adding value to their communities. They're one of the largest automotive technology schools in the nation with 23 campuses. They are the title sponsor of the IndyCar Fall Series and a very large partner of Goat Locker Racing. They host some car shows that Patrick Drabick likes to attend and bring out some pretty cool stuff, bring out the rig, and let everybody take a quick lap at wherever they choose to put on the track. Coming out of turn 4, the pace car will come off shortly as Regis Clark will lead us to the green flag and starting lap number 7. There goes the pace car diving down into pit lane, green flag in the air. Barney ready to drop it. And here we go for the second time tonight, and already shuffling in the back of the field right off the restart. See multiple cars diving out of line, possibly avoiding a quick checkup as soon as we took the green flag. Regis Clark getting out to an extreme advantage here, but that is going to cost him in the long run. Rick Ray Vaughn paired up with Tyler Justice, pushing on the outside. Justice looks to the inside. Has a great move down into turn 3. Will take up the second spot behind Regis Clark with momentum on his side.
Getting a little run right there, obviously, with Justice sliding down to the inside. Now Rick Ravon kind of in a different situation. Here comes Justice down to the inside. Remember, folks, if you watch the summer series, we saw this time and time again when the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series was here at Indianapolis. I mean, you had guys that, I don't know how many times that the lead changed officially. I damn sure don't know how many times it changed unofficially because we lost count. I mean, they were passing for the lead on the back stretch and the front stretch all in one lap. I mean, there was passes going on left and right. So you're going to see a lot of this right here. And eventually some guys may put it in the situation to say, you know what, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to ride in that second spot. But at what cost? With the dirty air and all that stuff. That's another thing, Logan. Granted, yeah, you got to put yourself in the right position. You want to be up there leading, but granted, that slingshot can screw you. But you don't want to be riding behind somebody for too long because you could get aero tight, slide up, you can hit the wall easily. So these guys, believe it or not, are thinking about a lot of stuff, trying to figure out where they're going to be as we see Justice and Clark battling for the lead. But they got so much going through their head. And, oh, yeah, I mean, hell, they're going 220 miles an hour virtually, but still, I mean, there's so much that you got to think about in this race. That's why everybody wants to win this one, because it's so prestigious and so hard to win and try to think about everything that's going on.
Here is exactly what you're talking about on display. Multiple passes per lap is Regis Clark and Tyler Justice. Justice able to come around on the inside of Clark last time by. Clark able to get back around, coming down the back stretch. Tyler Justice. Oh,
Wow.
it's a big one. That is a huge wreck. Multiple cars involved. It is going to be likely half the field, if not better. My Lord, a lot of meatball flags on the timing and scoring. I think I'm right on the money at half of the field. Zachary Minnis involved, Jacob Ellingson involved, Devin Smith, Jeremy Gardner, Casey Jones, Jason Christen, Christopher Gosh, Jonathan Wallace in it again, as well as Doug Ellingson. My Lord, look at this carnage.
My Lord, I honestly, I got to quote the great Jim Ross on this one. Good God Almighty, what a wreck! I mean, you called it. You pretty much named a driver. Odds are they were in it. Big guy. I mean, look at them flipping all over the place. Some of them trying to get up under the fence, almost going over the fence. Check out some of these drivers trying to drive through it, baby. They're sneaking through there, and they're trying to make it through, not hit anything. And we got one bouncing right there on the inside wall. I mean, guys with their front wings knocked off. We got all kinds of carnage after one little slip. You see it right here. Brian Provo down here on the inside. See what happens, slides up, gets up into the 91, sends him around. Obviously, with the 91 just going around, that's Christopher Gosh as well, but just that one slip, Provo might have got into the gas a little bit too early. Either that or, Gosh was on his outside, might have got him tied or what have you, or the net coated. Something happened where Provo slides up the hill, gets into Gosh, ends up turning him around. Check this out, 42, Jeremy Gardner, trying to have a little bit of Kyle Larson luck. The only problem is it's in the damn IndyCar series. Bam, there it is. Gardner straight up, out, big time, literally barrel rolling all over the place. And a lot of heavy hitters getting knocked out right here after two wrecks. But a lot of them come out of this one right here for our second caution this evening.
That's one thing about the aerodynamics on these cars. You're not going to slide to the left. You're going to slide to the right and then likely get crisscrossed. I had to get that one in there. The timing was too perfect for it, but nonetheless, we lose multiple drivers here. But the good thing is having that one fast repair available. Thank you. But having one fast repair available on the night will save a handful of these drivers. Unfortunately for others, like Jonathan Lawless, Doug Ellingson, Matthias Marcamini. Actually, Marcamini made it through that one unscathed, it appears. But the 25 of Lawless, the 58 of Ellingson, they are going to be out on the night already, and we just barely crossed over 10 laps. I believe Rob Kubai has also brought it down pit lane and put it behind the wall back to the garage.
Logan, you hate to see it for those drivers. I mean, especially, in the first 10 laps. They really didn't even make it 10 laps. But, I've always had that saying, and granted, I may get some hate mail out there one way or another. Somebody's going to say something about it. But if you're going to wreck, do it early. Don't drive and get all the way up at the front when you're racing for the lead, with like 2 to go, and then you end up getting caught up in a wreck or something. Well, then you just wasted a whole hour and a half. Granted, you had a shot, but at the same time, you get wrecked out early. Hell, you got other things that you can do. I'm not 100% if it would pertain to the Go Locker guys, but I know that's the way we thought about it when we run the full races like Daytona for the 200 laps, 500 milers, or here on iRacing. If you got to get wrecked, do it in the first 5 or 10 laps. Don't do it like lap 195. But you hate to see it for those guys. They really didn't even get a chance to get any laps in, to get a start, to see what was, to see how they could work their way around this track and try to have a little bit of luck in their favor. They never really had that shot.
Yeah, that's part of the game here. And these Indy cars, we know them to be so fragile at most moments in the race. So it's going to be very much driving on edge for some of these drivers for the rest of this race. Now, I do want to highlight a couple big movers that we have surviving the carnage we've had so far. Samuel Joseph up 16 positions. Andrew Carnes up 17 positions. Our current leader, the 33 of Tyler Justice, has moved up 5 spots to that number 1 podium position. We are coming down here through turns 3 and 4. I believe we have one more lap to go around. Yes, pace car lights are still on. What a spectacular wreck that was, however. You say, it's better to just go ahead and get it out of the way early. I would say if you're going to wreck, do it in a way that it's going to make a memory. This is one of those wrecks that you're just not going to easily forget. That's a big one here halfway through the season.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But the bad part about it, some of these guys might, this might be their biggest moment. The problem is that they flipped coming out of turn 2 at Indy. But I agree with you. If you're gonna wreck and you got to get out of this sucker and you're gonna wreck, hell yeah, do it with some style. Do it, with sparks and tires and all kinds of other stuff, which will probably be on the highlight reel, probably for Goat Talk. This week and everything else, and our highlights here on V-Speed and everything else. And real quick, folks, if you haven't yet, make sure you like, subscribe to V-Speed, and go check out Goat Locker on all the social media platforms and everything. But I will say this, my opinion, I've got a feeling everybody has probably already saw what can happen here, Logan. I think everybody's got it figured or got it figured out. Something can happen. Something's going to be up stupid. Eventually it will happen. But I think everybody has seen the fruits of what can happen here at Indy. Much like like I was talking about a pack racing and everything. Everybody's kind of seen what can happen here. I think everybody might calm down just a little bit. Not a whole lot, but just a little bit.
Well, we're going to find out because the pace car lights are off. Coming out of turn number 4, the dive down to pit lane. Here we go, and there's carnage in the backfield before the green flag even drops. My, oh my, who got wrapped up in that one? We didn't even get to put the hammer down. Pace car will come immediately back out. The yellow flag stays out. Our drivers will have to go around the field one more time to catch back up to the pace car. What happened there?
Well, let me get this crow out of my mouth, because I just sat here and said I think everybody's going to take it easy, and I was wrong. But let's see what happens. Maybe there was some tire spin. Maybe somebody, I think maybe somebody spun the tires or something happened. Maybe just didn't go, or maybe they was expecting them to go right when the pace car went in, because they can do that. Logan, that's how the IndyCar Series does it when they come to Indy. So maybe they were expecting everybody to just straight up send it as soon as the pace car went in. Well, some of them went, others didn't. And then that's why you end up having calamity coming off turn 4 right there at the edge of the pit road.
I believe that was the 19 of Andrew Carnes. Looks like he has made his way back out onto the racing surface after a fast repair there. He is coming out of the pits. Back on the replay here once more. Indeed, it is the 19. Take it back a little bit further, and maybe let's try to get an onboard here with Carnes and see what it sounded like whenever that green flag started to drop. Oh, it's a check up in front. Then he had assistance from behind. That will do it. Pace car speed at 85 miles an hour around Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A couple drivers there stacking up just in front of Carnes. Sends him to the inside wall. Looked like it was this little shuffle here with James Goshen trying to get back into position.
Like he probably tried to shoot up through there. Whoa, damn. Goshen tried to figure it out, tried to get back in line. Luckily, Carnes didn't just shoot right up the racetrack, jump right back up in front of everybody. But everybody had the presence of mind to ease off the gas, ease on the brake, just kind of just lay up for just a second and let them try to get straightened back out. But, you hate to see that, for Carnes, because, we were talking about this just a second ago about, Andrew Carnes, and where he started at was 25th. Well, he was up there inside of the top 10 when all this happened. So, you know, he was on one of those runs, much like Samuel Joseph and, you know, Skylar Daly, some of these guys that started up there at the front, or excuse me, started at the back that have worked their way up to the front. I mean, you just hate to see that for those guys, especially when it's completely out of their control.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaking early end to the drivers that have already used that fast repair. Looks like a couple black flags in the field as well. Matthias Marcamini and Casey Jones both picking up a black flag. I believe that would be the blame there for the caution, the stack up that caused the 19 to go around. But we're nearly set to get back going here. Pace car lights are off again. The 33 of Justice still at the front of the field. Regis Clark holding down P2. Ryzen Baker started in the pole position, now currently sitting in third. iRacing pace car comes off. Barney the flagman with the green flag in hand one more time. As it drops, so does the foot. Back to the loud pedal we go. Screaming down into turn one. Restart looking a whole lot better that time. And a whole lot more competition for Tyler Justice. Regis Clark able to hold on to just over a 1/10 of a second down. Now closing rapidly as we make our way down the backstretch.
Yeah, check out Regis Clark. Saw the draft, tries to make it work down on the inside. Baker right behind him, not really making any efforts. Then he says, you know what, maybe drive down to the inside, take a shot at Justice, not able to pull it off. Flip-flop back here, we see some more battles going on. This is the battle for about the 4th spot. You see Rick Ravon back here in the middle of this. Ravon's going to get bypassed. Justice going by Clark. How about Jake Ellingson to the inside? Got him an old twofer. Went from 4th to 3rd, trying to go for 2nd, but Clark able to fight back hard on the outside, get a run and make it stick. Everybody trying not to bounce off of the wall. Battle for the lead once again with Justice and Clark riding on board with Jake Ellingson, sending it going into turn number 3. And believe it or not, Logan, these corners is way different. You wouldn't think so. I mean, you talked about how the banking is and everything, but you know, all the turns is banked out the same. But you know, I've raced here in the Indy car, and I know you have too, as well as our great producer Michael McCarthy. All of us has raced here in these Indy cars. There's just something about going into turn 1 and turn 2 at Indy, and then next time going through turn 3 and turn 4. It's something just feels different when you go into those corners. It will blow your mind, just like Jake Ellingson trying to blow everybody's mind, thinking 3 wide. No, sir. Yes, sir. He's trying to think about it, trying to get some extra horsepower in that 27.
Almost made it 3 wide down into turn 3. We had it momentarily coming up to turn 3. Luckily, we think better of it this time as we come around to complete lap 20. Tyler Justice still in the lead. Jake Ellingson now up to P2. To the inside he goes for P1. Gets around Justice with ease. The crossover, however, you don't see that too often between 1 and 2. Ellingson right back to 2nd. Tyler Justice holding down the inside line. Here comes Regis Clark. Will we have the same exact thing happen? No. Justice up in front of Ellingson. Clark still down on the bottom. Ryzen Baker was looking all around the place for a hole to go through. Nothing opened up. And here we go. Jake Ellingson back to 3rd. Regis Clark back to 2nd. Tyler Justice liking the battle he's seeing in the rearview mirror, hoping it will continue and hoping he will be able to hold on to that number 1 position for the most laps led at the end of this one. We've got some lap traffic coming into play just ahead of our leaders. Trying to find who that might be. That's going to be the 34 of Casey Jones taking it down to the bottom. Tyler Justice is going to pick up the draft. Jones back up to the top. Justice stays middle. Down to the bottom through 3. He's got a lot of room as we're going to have to check up here. Oh, there goes Clark. There goes Ellingson into the fence.
Oh my gosh, Jake Ellingson literally end over end once again, getting into the catch fence. Casey Jones lap car getting into the way. Clark and Ellingson just trying to miss him. A bad break right there. You see it. Wait a minute. Well, yeah, lap car kind of played a factor right there, but You look at Regis Clark right there. Clark went around very, very fast. I'm not 100% if there was contact or if he just clipped the apron and the car just spun around. Maybe we can get another camera. Let's kind of see what happens. Yeah, hell yeah, he got contact. Yeah, he never caught the apron. He never touched the apron before he started going around. So yeah, I mean, you see it right here. Watch, see kind of what happens. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't even close to the apron, baby. He was already spinning. And, you know, I hate to see that for Jake Ellenson going up into the catch pit, still up there to catch pits. And then Regis Clark just tried to go as well. And mind you, Regis Clark started second. He's got the bird and a faster pair. I'm telling you, that faster pair is going through very, very quickly here tonight, Logan. They may end up trying to break out the, what's the old wallet? Trying to break out the old wallet to try to get themselves into the, maybe an extra faster pair. Try to buy one for Patrick Traffic, Jamie Marcus.
Oh my goodness, motion sickness warning. That was a ride that Jacob Ellingson just took, and unfortunately for him, that will be the end of the night, already using the one and only faster pair available. Regis Clark, however, lucks out, able to drive it back down pit lane. However, possibly didn't make it all the way to the box, still spending a pretty good amount of time. He will go a lap down here, but still had that faster pair available. So we got another camera angle here of this incident. It was just a little bit of contact there with the front left wheel of Ellingson to the right rear of Regis Clark that caused all of that. Zachary Menace also got a little bit of damage picked up from it. Just a little bit of contact there with Clark mid-spin. I believe that Menace will be all right to continue here tonight. Amongst all the commotion, though, we've got a new race leader, and that's the 05 of Nathan Graham. And take a look at this. Jeremy Gardner in the 42, up 13 positions now to P2. And the one you said to keep an eye on, the 85 of Jake Ham, up 16 spots to P3. Still not the biggest mover, however. Andrew Carnes able to work his way back up into the top 10, currently holding down 7th, up 18 positions, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is going to be kind of interesting because you're already getting some of your heavy hitters already in a bad spot. Some of them already have called it a night here this evening. But, you know, going back to that wreck, I saw it just a second ago. I saw it just for a very split second. When Ellingson was right in behind Regis Clark, obviously the lap traffic did play a factor. But if you watch, you know, when they made that contact, yeah, I mean, they touched tires, but at the same time, if you look just for a split second, that rear wing on Regis Clark's car, it disappeared, but then it reappeared. Basically, what happened was he hit it, and it knocked the wing off of balance. And I talked about it a while ago, is how aerodynamic these Lincoln Tech Indy cars is. You know, you get a wing knocked off just a little bit, you even get a scuff on it at 220 miles an hour, you have no idea where it's going to go. You have no idea what's going to happen. So, yeah, I mean, lap traffic played a good factor in that. But like you was talking about a second ago, and like I was saying, you know, Jake Ham up there in third, Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner found himself up here. New names in new places. Not where they started, it's where they're running at. So watch out for some of these guys trying to get their names called, try to win it here at Indy.
While we're coming down the backstretch, let's give a quick shout out to another fantastic sponsor of Goat Locker Racing, Save 22. Save 22 is a 501c3 organization dedicated to preventing suicide among veterans, active duty personnel, and first responders. Our unwavering mission extends to 4 critical pillars: shield, assist, volunteer, educate, save. You can visit them at save22.vet. We'd like to thank them for everything they do and for all the support of Goat Locker as a whole. Coming down out into turn number 4, Nathan Graham in the 05 leading us to the green flag for the first time tonight. The 42 of Gardner, the 85 of Ham. Here's your heavy hitters already up to the front of the field. Barney the flagman drops the green flag here, and away we go once again with some shuffling in the backfield. It gets straightened out, however. Jeremy Gardner holding on to what he can. Looks like Casey Jones is just catching up to the back of the pack. Nathan Graham in the 05, the 42, the 85, starting to make some headway and getting away as we've got to move to the inside. There goes the 42 of Gardner down the backstretch into turn number 3 and takes over the lead from the 05 of Graham.
Big Daddy G, Jeremy Gardner, making his presence known here tonight at Indy. Takes hold of the lead, leaving Nathan Graham in the back. Check him out, down to the bottom, back to the top, trying to break the draft. Here comes Jake Ham, Menace, they're gonna split Graham, make him 3 wide. Ham takes it on the top side. Menace is gonna get around Graham. Provo now sitting in the 5th spot, right behind all the chaos. And Jake Ham, Jeremy Gardner, 1-2, here we go, they're gonna flip. The 85, 42, they're side by side. Ham on the inside, Gardner up top. Zachary Menace right behind them. And Nathan Graham, who just got straight up used up, stuck in the middle, and got split just a lap ago, trying to get back at it and try to catch back up. And here comes Gardner. Gardner's going to take a shot to the outside. They're going to go 3 wide at the line with Menace on the bottom.
Menace gets the lap led and slides up in front of Jake Ham. Jeremy Gardner stuck on the outside, has to be careful. He's already used that fast repair, nearly caught down between 1 and 2. We've got cars way up towards the wall. We've got one. Oh, man. It is shuffling around like crazy back here. 3 wide right behind. I believe that was possibly the one of Rick Ray Vaughn getting up into the wall there, or close to it rather. Luckily, we get it sorted out. Green flag stays on the field. Coming around the front stretch to complete lap 28. It is a battle at the front. Ham not letting go. Gardner not backing down. Zachary Menace waiting for a mistake or a hole to be made. 3 wide through 1 behind. Ryzen Baker, Brian Provo. Major cars now falling out of that draft. Nearly made contact with the wall, but keeps it going straight. Provo Smith still going at it. Gardner Ham still trying to hash out who's going to take over the lead.
Boy, I got to tell you this much right here, Logan. My good buddy, the Australian Dean Hopton Biggles, would absolutely be loving this kind of racing because he loves that open wheel racing, especially here at Indy, and they are putting on a show here tonight. Jake Ham back down to the inside. Gardner didn't want to let him have it. He didn't have a choice. Now everybody looked like they kind of blinked out there for a second, kind of might have threw Menace off a little bit, but everybody's back and everybody's ready to go. Gardner, Ham, Menace trying to make something happen. Menace goes 3 wide once again. He is not afraid to stick it where the sun doesn't shine, all the way down on the bottom side, down in the center of Grand Pepe has the moonshot from Gritty, and there goes big spin right there by Gardner. He goes around and we got another caution.
Gardner's involved. Nathan Graham, I believe, caught a piece of it. Gardner, Tyler Justice, Samuel Yosef, Devin Smith, Jake Ham. That's who the car was that got a piece of it. Right behind Jeremy Gardner, just nowhere to go. It all starts with a little bit of contact after this 3 wide situation. Back here on the V-Speed instant replay, you see Gardner trying to shoot bottom. Gets there. Gets through of the 85. Then there's the snake down the front stretch. Ham nearly making contact with the pit wall. Back down into 1 and 2. Here we come up on the action. Menace gets a massive run coming down the backstretch behind Gardner and Ham. Shoots to the inside. Coming up right about now. 3 wide where Ham backs out of it. Falls in behind Menace. And Menace pushes up the track, makes contact with the left rear. Gardner completely unsettles the car. Nearly had it saved, but at these high rates of speed, that wobble is deadly, as it proves just now.
And, Logan, I got to quote the great Garth Brooks. I'm quoting a lot of people here tonight, but, it was bound to happen, and one night it did. And that is exactly what just happened right there. I mean, that was going to happen eventually. You had guys sending it. Hell, they were taking it 3 wide. You saw Jake Ham. I mean, Ham took it all the way down the inside wall, slammed into the inside. Well, he might not have slammed into it, but I'm pretty sure he caught it. But he got into the inside wall trying to get around him. These guys, I mean, we hadn't even made it halfway, and they're racing like this. I mean, we haven't even made it halfway, and we're already taking out about a half of the field right here before we even get to halfway. So that was bound to happen, the aggressive driving and everything else with all the moves and everything. But you hate to see it for guys like this guy right here, Samuel Joseph. Just absolutely no business being a part of it. Just an innocent bystander gets involved in it. But everybody wants to win at Indy, baby. They tried, but the only problem is everybody's there. They have the mentality, Logan, of I want to win this race. You're in my way, so get the hell out of my way. And then the bad part is they make just slight contact, just every slight contact. It's not like door banging in stock cars. You barely touch somebody on these suckers, you in trouble.
Very much so, as that was the just lightest bit of contact, but enough to completely unsettle the 42 of Gardner. Samuel Joseph did a fantastic job of checking up for that wreck as well. Just not enough real estate and not enough time to really react to it. But a fantastic effort nonetheless. You're just about halfway through the race. The hyper-aggressive driving started at the very beginning. It has not slowed down at all. As the moves being made here, you know, these are moves that you would typically see in the last 10 to 15 laps of a race.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's the only part that's kind of puzzling to me, Logan, is, like you said, you see these moves at the latter portion of the race, but now you're seeing them within, like I said before, halfway. So, I said it a while ago, and I'm telling you, I'm eating a whole lot of crow here this evening, because after the second caution, I was like, okay, well, that big one right there, I think everybody calmed down. They ain't calmed down none. I mean, nobody's calmed down. Everybody's amped up. Everybody's jacked up. It's like I said, this is the great equalizer, Logan. This is the great equalizer. Talk about the super speedways and everything. This is just like those. The road courses and everything. Rick Ray Vaughn, he's been out there. He's been lighting it up, and he's getting it done on the road courses. When we come to an oval, especially like this, where draft is a big key, big ones that we've seen here tonight is a big key. Everybody feels like they're on the same playing field. And I think that's why you're seeing some of these aggressive moves. It's just, they're just a little bit too aggressive, and bad timing, I guess you could say. That's the big key out of all these.
It's going to be a good point to take away here from the rest of this race, as majority of our field has used the fast repair available. Must be reserved from this point on. Zachary Menace will lead us to the green flag again here tonight. And away we go, screaming down the front stretch, single file, as we have been. Down into turn one, Menace has a good lead of 0.3 of a second over Rick Ray Vaughn. But the battle is on behind for third place. Ryzen Baker, Brian Provo, who's had a rather quiet night, up 4 positions from 8th, looking to peek into the podium spots. Ryzen Baker gets a good run, takes a look to the inside of Rick Ray Vaughn, goes through the inside all the way around that 77 of Baker, side by side between 3 and 4 of Baker. All the way up to the lead. Zachary Menace falls in behind there into second, snaking down the front stretch, trying to break the draft. There goes that 31 of Menace, trying to keep Rick Ray Vaughn at bay, working around the outside of the 77. Ryzen Baker able to hold on to it. That inside line does prove to be faster as Rick Ray Vaughn takes over P2.
Yeah, I mean, and, the big thing about that, you mentioned the one of Rick Ray Vaughn back into the mix with Menace and Provo up here trying to race it out with Baker. but everybody's seeing Rick Ray Vaughn. I mean, I'm telling you, this old boy, he's fast. He's good, and he's fast, but he has one of the biggest targets I've ever seen on a race car. I mean, Kyle Larson couldn't even have a target this damn big. He has got a target a mile wide on that number 1 machine. Everybody gunning for that one. So if any way they kind of ship him out of the way, not necessarily turn him, but kind of move him up out of the way, be able to get a run and try to ship him all the way to the back. These guys is going to do it. Skylar Daly is the next one to have a shot. Is Baker. Menace. Baker jumped down, put the block. Menace takes it up top, trying to get the draft. Baker is doing exactly what he needs to do. If they want to pass him, take it up on the top side. Do not give up the bottom. Keep it on the bottom of the racetrack and hug it, literally going down the front stretch. You see it right there. Unless Ray Vaughn sees 3 wide, he's not able to do it. But others back here, Provo, and others trying to make moves as well going into 1.
And what a save that almost was, as contact is made with the wall. Skylar Daly in the 22. We've got more happening behind. The car completely around. That's the 16 of Jamie Lipke. Got more carnage coming out of turn number 2 now. Tyler Justice in the 33 sets sideways in the middle of the track with a meatball flag. It doesn't look too heavy on the damage scale, but Justice has already used that fast repair on the night. We'll have to get this one healed back up naturally. So we'll take a look here on board. Just nowhere to go as Lipke slides back up the racetrack. Luckily, just slight contact with the car. I don't think he ever touched the wall. We had another driver there do a fantastic job to bring it to a halt. Here's some heavy contact that takes out the front right wing of Lipke. That is what sets sideways on the 16, just barely clipping the 33 of Justice.
Boy, Justice, I mean, that right there, I mean, that is just some bad luck right there. I mean, if I was him, I would not go buy a lottery ticket at my local gas station here this evening. He was so close to making it past, but was not able to do it. I mean, Lipke, you see the contact right here, bam, slams into him. They slide, hit the apron, slide up, and Justice just barely gets clipped. Thankfully, nobody else ends up running into him and T-boning him. Lipke almost did, because Justice almost backed straight into it. But, wow, I mean, that right there could have been a whole lot worse than what it looked like. Because we've already seen big ones. We've already seen cars flip up. We've already seen them get up in the catch fence. We saw all kinds of crazy stuff here tonight. That could have been a whole lot worse. That could have looked like some of our big ones that we've had here this evening, Logan.
That we could have, but here we go. Lap 38. Coming around to start lap 39 under pacing. We're going to have over half the field, wow, pretty much the entire field, besides Zachary Menace. I believe that's Regis Clark and a couple more scragglers behind. But most of our drivers going to bring it down pit lane, top off on fuel. That will leave the lead in control of that 31. Let's take a quick moment to talk about that fundraiser race that we have going on next week. What do you say, Jake? We've got some ARCA cars going to Las Vegas. We have 2 qualifying races on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Every series taking a week off to support this fundraiser. Just looking to raise some money to provide more equipment to our nation's warriors and first responders. I know we've got, I believe it was a $4,000 goal. It's already well up there, I believe closing in, if not already over $3,000 donated so far. Drivers wanting to get into this race, drivers wanting to support Goat Locker as a whole and the mission at hand. Looking to give away a couple items as well, some big ticket items. I believe one of them even a signed Kevin Harvick helmet, if I recall correctly, some Tony Kanaan gloves, and various other items from some Goat Locker merch. So be sure to check that out. I believe our producer, Michael McCarthy, has a URL ready to be posted. There it is. Take a quick moment to take a picture of that, screenshot it. You can visit that at gorallyup.com/GLR fundraiser. Take a look at what prizes are available for the sweepstakes. You can donate there, help out the Goat Locker cause, and keep giving away these sim rigs. And while we're on that topic, let's talk about our Warrior Spotlight here and our most recent sim rig giveaway winner. That's Jonathan Lawless. John served in the United States Air Force for 22 years as a hydraulic maintainer. He completed 5 deployments to Korea, Sicily, Turkey, and twice to Iraq. He worked on multiple platforms like the U-2S,
Fall open house at Sussex County Community College.
HH-60G, and the HC-130J. We are proud to have John as a member of the Goat Locker family and looking forward to seeing what he can do on track. Unfortunately, an early exit tonight, but looking to bounce back next time we see the track surface. I believe that'll be October 14th here for the Goat Locker Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. Pace car lights are off once more. Down into turn 3. Zachary Minnis leading the way. Jamie Libke in the 16 up to P2. Nathan Graham rounds out the top 3. Ryzen Baker, Rick Ray Vaughn, Christopher Gosch, Brian Provo. Andrew Carnes still up in the top 10. Skylar Daly and Jake Ham will round out the top 10 as it runs behind Kyle Deering, James Goshen, Devin Smith, Regis Clark, Jason Kristen, Tyler Justice will be our remaining drivers in the field from 17th on back in pit row or behind the wall. Pace car comes off once more. The green flag waiting on Zachary Minnis. And here we go, a great jump from Minnis once more. Jamie Lipke a little bit late on the throttle. Nathan Graham holding down P3 with the safe buffer. Rick Ray Vaughn and Ryzen Baker are going to go at it here. Apologize, lap car there in between. Ryzen Baker still safe for the moment. Ray Vaughn holding down 5th. Shuffling down to the bottom behind. Here goes Jamie Lipke for a look to the inside. Down the back stretch into turn 3. Will get clear of Zachary Minnis. Minnis falls in behind for P2.
Yeah, I mean, and we saw Libke just a second ago. I mean, they got caught up in a wreck a while ago and got into Tyler Justice, ended up sending them around. So, I mean, 16 has got a little bit of, speed right here, maybe have something. And that's the biggest thing about this race that I'm noticing as we have just went past the halfway point about this, Logan. It's one thing that I've seen. Everybody has got a shot right here because we've had literally every single driver damn near has been up at the front of this pack. There's been some that stayed up at the front more than others, but we've had Regis Clark up there leading. We've had Jeremy Gardner up here leading. We've had Jake Ellenson up here leading. Rick Ravon's been up here. Nathan Graham, Brian Provo, Christopher Gosch. I mean, hell, Carnes up there. I think he led a lap. Now we got Libke up here. So, I mean, you name it. As hell, they're 3 wide. Ravon says he's going to take it to the front. I'm telling you what, this is kind of one of those races, Logan, where like you go to the casino and you play roulette and there's 25 numbers out there. You just spin the ball, just spin the wheel, throw the ball in there, and whichever one it lands on, that's what you're going to get with, because you cannot predict this right here.
Yeah, this has been a wild race all the way from the first green flag drop of the night. Ryzen Baker has made his way around Rick Ray Vaughn after that 3-wide move down into turn 1 last time by. Ray Vaughn back to the outside. Libke follows the number 1 car to the outside. I thought that was going to be a look to the middle, another 3-wide moment. But it's going to be 2 wide down into turn 1. Ryzen Baker holds on to P2 as Jamie Lipke pushes up the track just a touch. Has to lift out of it before meeting that outside wall. Back down the back stretch we go. Here goes Ryzen Baker for a look to the inside one more time. Rick Ray Vaughn keeping it high up on the outside. Baker gets control of the lead, but it does give that draft right to Ray Vaughn here. This will likely switch back one more time here before we make it to the start-finish line. Jamie Lipke has an opportunity to make it 3 wide once again. Holds on to the draft of Ray Vaughn.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's all that you can do right now at this point. Just hold on to the draft, see if it can make it stick any way that you can. And we'll see how this works out, as there you see Ray Vaughn still holds down with the lead. Baker right behind them. Libke, Graham, Provo, that's your top 5. Minnis, Carnes, Daly, Ghosh. Somebody almost went around back there, but Jake Ham, how about that 85 back up here in the mix, holding it down in P10. You look at this right here and see the top 13 drivers, all of them separated by 2 seconds. That is your race-winning pack right here. As once again, here we go, three wide for a split second. Lemke sticks it right in the middle. Rayvon up top. Rayvon trying to hold on to second. Can Jamie Lemke dethrone Rick Rayvon here tonight? They got about 30 laps left. Still a long way to go, but a short time to get there just as fast as they're going.
Just as much battling going on at the front, 3 wide down into turn 3. They're still 2 by 2 by 2 from 7th place back to Jake Ham in 11th. James Goshen also in that same area. It is a double stack there all the way through turns 3 and 4. At the front, Rick Rayvon gets out ahead once more at the start-finish line. It's side by side for P3 between Lipke and Graham. Lipke on the outside line, that black and red 05 of Nathan Graham trying to get back up to that top 3 spots where he had been for quite a bit of this race. Started out in 4th, so wasn't far behind it. Made some quick moves to get up there to the front of the pack. Now finds himself in trouble as he gets flipped out of turn 3.
Good
Talk about a
Lord.
broadcaster's curse. I was talking about him for too long.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll tap you up on that one, Logan. That one's all on you. I believe it or not, I'm used to one getting the busted out of that, and obviously Daniel Cunningham on the Wednesday night series. Yeah, here with Goat Locker would attest to that as well. Both of us is pretty bad at it. But check this out. We'll see what happens. Nathan Graham, hate to see it for him. Bad spot, 05 right there. And then he's got a little bit of action, slides up just a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he had no chance. And damn, I mean, boy, did he go around. Provo nails him. Provo T-bones him, knocks him clean up in the air. Right there next to, I believe that's the dirt track right there, right here smack dab in the middle of Indy. I believe that is the dirt track right there. So, actually, side note, Logan, I would love to see that here on iRacing. But there you, I mean, Graham, I mean, he had nowhere to go out of that. I mean, just innocent bystander. That's something, you know, Logan, that we're seeing a lot of here tonight is guys on the bottom side, they get a little tight, slide up into guys up on the top side. You are at that guy's mercy when he drives it in there on the bottom side. If he ends up coming up into you or whatever, you're at that guy's mercy, which is why I'm surprised we're not seeing more blocking. But if there is blocking, then your rear wing gets knocked off. So it's kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, really.
I'd like to see a replay from Andrew Karn's point of view from that one. He barely got by. That was a very close call and likely a need for a new race suit after that one. He holds on to his position, keeps a healthy race car. Here we go. Just behind the action here. Coming down the back stretch. Just watch how close this ends up being here for Andrew Karns. There's the slide, nearly gets into, I think might have ran over the front wing of the 05 there, but luckily no damage on the 19.
Well, I mean, you know, as hard as that, I mean, yeah, I mean, he might have got out of that luckily right there, you know. If he didn't lose his front wing, that 19, I'm telling you, he's got 9 laps. Like, honestly, I mean, you know, we already saw what happened on a restart with Andrew Karns earlier on. There, maybe a little bit. He may have a little bit of damage. Well, no, never mind. It went back. So he might actually be in good shape out of this, to be honest with you. But it's like I said, this cat right here has got 9 lives right here. And the bad part is eventually you're going to run out of those 9 lives. But for the most part right now, he's still got maybe 6 of them. So he's got about 3 more, I guess, that he can spare.
It's possibly one of the greatest analogies I think that you've broken down here on the broadcast. But luckily for Karns, a lot of drivers in front will pit. And now he is in control once we get back around for the green flag drop. Up 24 positions, the biggest mover of the race, all the way from the last spot on the grid. What a drive for the 19. A little bit of luck at hand, but certainly not going to complain about it. As we see the pace car lights go off, we will be green next time by. Now let's go ahead and shout out another one of our amazing sponsors here in Goat Locker. We'll shout out Cruisin' Classics. Located out in Columbus, Ohio, Cruisin' Classics has a beautiful 56,000 square foot showroom filled with hundreds of unique automobiles. There is something for everybody out of their hand-picked selection of muscle cars and hot rods. Come on down to visit the facility today or check out their website at cruisinclassicsinc.com. Just went through that Columbus, Ohio area a few weeks ago. Fortunately, it was the middle of the night, so I didn't get to stop by. It had to be during the regular working day hours, unfortunately, but I'd love to make that trip back out there and see what they've got. We've seen some of their video footage from the showroom floor and our commercial reels, and they really do have some nice cars out there, Jake.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to actually get up there and check it out. I mean, just from what I've seen out of their commercial ads, some of the, just absolutely beautiful, beautiful cars. Well beyond, my salary that I make. So there ain't no way that I can afford one of them. I would just love to just sit in one. If I could just sit at my baby, to be honest with you, Eleanor. If I could ever just sit in Eleanor, I'd be tickled to death. But I don't know anybody around here that's got one. So I doubt I'll have a shot at it.
Green flag out again. We are 25 laps to go here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Andrew Carnes out to a great jump, nearly a half second over Brian Provo, but that gap will close just as quickly as it opened. Provo, Gosh, Kyle Deering, Rick Ray Vaughn holding down the top five. And we are spread out quite a ways through the entire field. This has been the biggest gap racing that we've had so far tonight. A little bit of a shuffle back here. A little bit of a shuffle back here around the top 10 spot. Jake Ham, James Goshen side by side. Down through turn number 4. They keep it side to side. Wheel to wheel action going on. Brian Provo now all over the back bumper. Top 5 under a blanket. Rick Ray Vaughn shoots up to the top 3 positions. Christopher Gosh, Kyle Deering, Ryzen Baker making way around Deering through turn 2. Andrew Carnes has a handful on his plate with Brian Provo right behind. We know Provo, very confident driver in the GT3 series from MK Designs on our Saturday nights. Rick Ray Vaughn able to shoot around the inside, but does have to play it cautiously as he's used that one and only fast repair. We only have, I believe, 3 or 4 drivers now that haven't. Ryzen Baker, Kyle Deering, James Goshen, and Mike Browning with a quiet night for the 4. Looking to keep it that way, but 4 laps down at the moment.
Yeah, Logan, that's going to be the trick right here. But I'll tell you what, these guys up here at the front, they ain't having no damn quiet night. Literally, look at this right here. Just left, right. It's like you was talking about just a second ago. Slide to the left, slide to the right, crisscross. Literally, I don't even know what the hell the name of that song is, Logan, but you probably got a better idea. I just know the lyrics. I can't remember the name of it, but you're going to see a lot of that. We've already seen plenty of it here this evening. Now we're seeing it again. Ray Vaughn getting around Carnes. Carnes goes to second. Baker, Gosh, and Provo, the top 5, but Rick Ray Vaughn trying to keep that dominant season that he's been having. Carnes has got something to say about it. Carnes down to the inside. Baker thinking about it now. They've been thinking bump draft. Bump draft in Indy cars? I don't think that ain't going to work out, Logan. It never works out.
It absolutely will not. It will only end up in more carnage, whether that is yourself ripping off the front wing or completely turning the driver in front of you, but it's not going to deter the move for 3 wide down the front stretch. Andrew Carnes loses 2 to Ryzen Baker and Rick Ray Vaughn. Baker takes over the lead. Ray Vaughn looking to pounce as Andrew Carnes is going to try to drive around the outside. Ryzen Baker drops it down to the bottom, breaks the draft off of the 1. but still with a little bit of push there from the 19. Doesn't help out the 77 at all. Keeps it low on the inside, though. That will, as we work our way through turns 3 and 4, Baker still not able to get completely clear of Rick Rayvon. Nearly side by side, nearly wheel to wheel for P1, P2. Andrew Carnes, Christopher Gosh, Brian Provo. And the battle is on back here, side by side for our 3rd and 5th positions.
Oh my goodness, this has got a recipe maybe for disaster, but some of these guys that you see right here, Cards, Gosh, Provo, all these guys, they have seen what has happened throughout this race. Some of the chaos that's popped off here in this race, maybe they've learned something. Maybe don't put your car here, don't put your car there. Don't get yourself in this kind of situation. Somebody's in this particular spot, get in a different spot. You don't want to end up being on the end of a tow truck. But I don't know. I mean, everybody wants to get them a win. Everybody loves to get a win. And, you know, honestly, Logan, this series is very, very tough. Even though Rayvon has really been dominating with it, everybody's got a shot. We got Rayvon right up here at the front. Everybody wants to see if they can beat Rick Rayvon, and Baker's got a shot with Skylar Daly. Carnes back up here as well. How about Regis Clark, the contact he had with him and Jake Ellenson earlier on? Regis Clark in the 8, he is back in the mix.
Quite the recovery effort from the 8 machine. Andrew Carnes able to work around the outside of Rick Rayvon for P2 once again, trying to close the door up to Ryzen Baker as we are on board with Rick Rayvon. I like this view here for the battle in the lead. Ryzen Baker on the inside, Carnes on the outside. Skylar Daly follows Carnes. Rick Rayvon almost looked middle there. Side by side for 1st through 4th. Up into turn 3 and 4, sorts itself out between 3 and 4, but here we go with a 3-wide look immediately as Baker shoots down to the bottom to try to block Rick Rayvon, opens up the door to the middle. Regis Clark going to try to pick up some of that draft from the 1 machine. Doesn't quite get there, but does get side by side with Skylar Daly there. Takes over P4 as he is watching this battle with our top 3, waiting for something to happen. Carnes shoots to the outside, hugging that rear spoiler of Rick Rayvon. Ryzen Baker finding speed with some side draft, shoots down to the bottom in turns 3. We are coming around to start lap 60 out of turn 4, Jake.
I mean, it almost got very, very interesting right there with Baker and Cards. Baker really set it down on the bottom side. Ryzen Baker almost ended up getting into Andrew Carnes, almost made a little bit of a door bang. I don't even know how you could door bang, wheel bang, I guess you could say. That'd be the best shot out of it. But got very, very close to contact. Big time close to contact right behind Regis Clark and Skylar Daly, Brian Provo, JV Limke, all these guys almost making contact in what could have been very much disastrous. Provo trying to go after Daly, and now they're sending it back here as well with Deering and all these other guys. Menace, I mean, literally, you got about a 10-car pack right here, and all 10 of them are straight up sending it. You got a second pack that's kind of just floating around back there. They're kind of just waiting on a big one to pop off. Now it's starting to split up. You're starting to get different packs. You got about 6 up here in this one. Then you're going to have about 4. And then you got the rest of them. So, I mean, just all kinds of chaos happening right here.
And on top of all that, some loose conditions for a couple drivers out of turn number 2. They're going to lose some of that ground here to the lead pack. They're going to separate with about 4 of them under a blanket. You can even throw Brian Provo under the blanket as well. But you can see where these drivers are being a little bit more cautious in that second pack. Those are the ones that absolutely have no second chance if something happens. Nearly a 3-wide move with Regis Clark on the bottom. He almost got to the inside of Andrew Carnes. Andrew Carnes saw it early and took that bottom line away. Got some, looks like, connection issues possibly with the 08 of Brian Provo there momentarily out of turn 2. 3 wide down into turn 3. How's this one play out? Still side by side. Carnes falls out of it. Regis Clark right back to the lead. Ryzen Baker holding on to the draft. Will look to the inside, coming down the front stretch. Man, this battle is fierce. This is awesome racing we are seeing right now. Rick Ray Vaughn looks to the middle, makes it stick, and goes to the outside of Ryzen Baker. That was close with Regis Clark to the inside.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think we're seeing literally a flip-flop, Logan.
Carnes into the wall.
Wow, Andrew Carnes hitting in the wall off of turn 2, but he's able to straighten it back out. But Logan, like I was going to say, buddy, this right here is literally, this race is literally flipped. Usually, you see the good, hard racing right there at the start. Then you start to see the crashes and everything when it stacks up to get to the end. At this race, all the wrecks happen at the front of it, and now we're seeing some of the best racing that you can get on iRacing and on YouTube and all your streaming platforms for that matter. I mean, hell, this is better than what you would really get in the real Indy 500. Just straight up sending it, do not care, trying to make it stick. If it doesn't stick, screw it. But these guys are putting on a hell of a show here tonight with Go Locker Racing live here on V-Speed at Virtual Indy.
And it's not going to go away anytime soon. Rick Ray Vaughn has control of it, like you mentioned, with 4 wins on the season. Potentially could have had 5. He has got the biggest target on his back in the field. Somebody wants to be the one to dethrone Rick Ray Vaughn from an onslaught of a season. Who can it be? Ryzen Baker has a great contention for it. Regis Clark right there as well. Brian Provo, you really can't count any of these drivers in the top 10 out of this race win tonight.
No, I mean, Logan, you really can't. I mean, it's like I was talking about, you know, a while ago. This race is more like a wild card race. And you know, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. I mean, y'all can hear it. Y'all can hear it through my voice. It's 10 to go. The backers in the jaw, baby. We're ready. This is going to be turning out to be a fantastic finish with Baker to the inside. Regis Clark up top. Rayvon, Provo, Daly back there. They're lined up. Baker, the only one trying to make it stick on the bottom side, able to make it work. Clark thought about jumping down to the bottom. Baker's literally going to stick it down as low as he possibly can go. If he goes any lower, he's going to hit the grass. Clark up top. Baker still on the bottom. Rayvon trying to find out if they'll slide one way or another. Oh, baby, 9 to go. Here we go.
Around here, Regis Clark, Ryzen Baker, Clark to the outside. He was holding Baker down to that grass line down the backstretch. We'll see if the roll is reversed at all. Ryzen Baker gets a little bit of a lead here coming out of turn 2. We'll get some separation, but Clark will come screaming by as Baker's trying to break that draft. Here is where we're going to see that snake pattern really start to play into this race. We'll see these drivers up and down the track for the remaining 8 laps this time by. This is where it gets exciting, folks. Ryzen Baker, Regis Clark, Rick Ray Vaughn just laying in wait as we are on board with Skylar Daly, who gets a big run, takes a look to the outside, gets shut down by Clark. There goes Rick Ray Vaughn to the side of Clark now. It's side by side for them. And yellow is out on the field. Oh my goodness. We've got Kyle Deering into the wall on the front stretch. This could completely change the course of this finish.
Oh, baby. This right here, like you said, I mean, this is going to change everything. It's kind of what happens, get an idea. Or maybe what, wow. Damn. Well, there you go. I mean, front stretch. I mean, bam. I mean, straight up on the outside rotated wall. That was Deering in the 50. Something happened right there with Kyle Deering in the 50. He ends up sliding up. I mean, what happened right? I mean, was there contact? What happened? Did he just get tagged in the back end? Or no, hell no, he just lost it. I mean, just kind of got squirrely. Maybe some of the blinking right there in front. We did see a couple cars blinking right there, Logan. Maybe it threw him off a little bit. He got a little squirrely. Tried to get it straightened back out. I mean, a lot of people would think, oh, well, you wrecked on a straightaway. How can you do that? Well, like I said, aerodynamic cars, 220 miles an hour. Yeah, it ain't that. I mean, it ain't that easy. So, I mean, got to give him a little bit of credit out there for daring. But, I mean, this is going to set up a shootout, in my opinion, right here, Logan.
Yeah, all bets are off once the green flag flies. We'll see if we can take it to the checkered. But do remember, we've got those two green-white checkered attempts, not faster pairs. 2 green-white checkered attempts at the end of it if it is needed. Now that comes into play with potential fuel strategy. Will some of these drivers be able to make it those couple extra laps? I would say that likely somebody won't. Somebody will be stretching it on fuel. However, only a couple drivers here, Brian Provo, Christopher Gosh, last time they came down pit road was 30 laps ago, as well as Andrew Carnes. Kyle Deering will bring it down here. He still has that fast repair available, so don't count the 50 out of this race win.
Oh, Ryzen Baker. Yeah, Ryzen Baker decides he's going to jump down pit road, get him some gas, maybe get him some tires. I mean, if you're going to go down pit road at this point, you may as well just go ahead and get tires while you're down there. I mean, if you're just going to go down there just to get a splash of gas just to have enough to make it to the end, you crazy. Get you 4 fresh tires. Make sure you got enough of gas to make it all the way to the end. Because you don't want to put yourself in a bad spot. You know, obviously we got green, white checkers and everything in this, so it can happen. So get you enough gas for all the green, white checkers. Make sure you got you some freshies on there. Send it, baby. That's what you got to do right here.
It is go or no go, and every single one of these drivers will be full go mode once we get back around. But for now, let's give another shout out to InVets here tonight. InVets aids in transitioning to civilian life, focusing on job placement and finding the right community for veterans and their family to ensure their success and happiness. They are a veteran nonprofit in Indiana with a goal of bringing veterans to that state to live and work. They're the title sponsor of our Sundays series as well, so don't forget to check that out, the InVets Xfinity series on Sunday nights here. I believe if I caught the camera correctly there, I believe we are lights out this time by on the pace car. Regis Clark will have control. Rick Ray Vaughn will be in second. And a lot of drivers that are waiting for that first race win. Skylar Daly currently up 15 positions, holding down that third place spot. Andrew Carnes has brought it down pit road, got that damage repaired from smacking the outside wall a few laps ago. So he could very well be right back into contention for the race win as well. The 19 has shown some incredible speed out here on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway tonight. Love to see that for Andrew being a top contender in this race, as well as multiple other drivers. This one has been, like you mentioned earlier, in the hands of just about everybody in the field.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, and honestly, I think what's going to happen out of this, I mean, you think about Regis Clark leading this sucker. I mean, you know, the contact earlier, we talked about that. That fast repair really saved his tail right here in this race. But, you know, Logan, I think a lot of this, you know, and I think back to the summer series, skill is going to have a good bit to play into who's going to win this race right here. But I think you're going to have to be lucky as well. You're going to have a little bit of luck right here for this to work out. I mean, you got to have yourself in the right place at the right time. You got to have the skill if you got to use the draft, all that good stuff. You got to have skill as well, but I think some luck is going to come into play. So whoever can win this bad boy, they got some luck on their side here tonight. They got a golden horseshoe stuck up you know where at this point.
Well, we're going to find out who that driver might be as the pace car will dive off, hopefully for the last time tonight. Regis Clark leads us to the start-finish line. We will be 4 to go here at Indianapolis. Green flag drops. Away Clark goes, separating himself from Rick Ray Vaughn by about 0.4 of a second. We've known so far this race that initial jump does not matter. Rick Ray Vaughn will likely be creeping back up to the back end of the 8 machine before we get to turn number 3. Snaking down the backstretch we go. Regis Clark not quite doing as much movement as I would have thought. Rick Ray Vaughn gets a huge run to the inside, and away goes the one for P1. Skylar Daly now starting to close that gap back up to Regis Clark. And here we go, 3 to go at the line. And caution in turn number 4. It's none other than the 19 of Andrew Carnes. There's another one you can mark on the tally. The broadcaster's curse falls on me once more.
Well, I think he just spent all his 9 lives right there. He spent all of them right there. I mean, we were looking at our broadcast chat. Obviously, our great producer who's doing a fantastic job here tonight, Michael McCarthy, was sitting there saying that Carnes has 7 lives. I think he just spent them all right there in turn number 4. You see Carnes just going around. Looks like it is the 77. No! Not the 77 getting involved. Ryzen Baker getting involved in this one as well. Hate to see that for Ryzen Baker. Wow, unfortunate right there. And Ryzen was one of those guys that went down pit road a while ago to get the 4 freshies. Bam, Ryzen hits the wall, hits the grass, and bam, comes up and hits Carnes. Carnes absolutely nowhere to go.
Unfortunate to see for 2 of the drivers we have seen up in at least the top 5 for a good portion of this race. You take a look here on board from Andrew Carnes, just nowhere to go. You have to think if he was maybe up just a little bit higher, if he could have gotten clear of that, Ryzen Baker would have just hit the wall right behind him. But unfortunately, once you even get up that high onto the racing surface, you're into the marbles as well. And that can completely take you out of the race in itself. But this will bring us to our first attempt at a green-white checkered. Remember, we have just 2 of those tonight. If I recall correctly, we started this season off with a race that ended under caution. I believe that was going to be, what race was that? I do recall that happening. I can't quite recall where it happened at. Right there to start the season. I believe Texas is where that happened. After we saw Rick Ray Vaughn send it 3 wide middle and came away with the race win. We're going to see just what happens from here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Logan, your memory is better than mine at that point, because actually I think I was out for the Texas race. I don't believe I was here for that one. So, good possibility. But we did see it a while ago. They said, we're going to get some green-white checkers. So hopefully race director, with Abert up there, Charles Abert, hopefully he's able to try to make something happen right here and make sure that we get us a green flag finish right here, because I'm sure everybody out there in the live chat, light it up if you're loving it here tonight. But everybody out there in the live chat would love to see a green flag finish here for the Lincoln Tech IndyCar Series. And I'm one of them. I know you are, baby. We want to see a green flag finish. I mean, that's what we love here.
We had a nice long green flag run that produced some of the best racing we've seen so far this season. Let's see how it sorts itself out. Also, would like to give another quick shout out. I missed it at the top of the show, but Noah Hoagie Hogard helping out up there in the race control booth as well. So big shout out to him taking up that position next to Charles Abert. As the pace car lights come off, we will see if we can take this one to the checkered flag this time. Rick Ray Vaughn holding on to that number 1 spot for this restart. 14 laps led for him tonight. Regis Clark with 12 on the board. I believe there's a couple other drivers up there possibly close to the double digits. Zachary Menace with 8 on the night. Ryzen Baker also with 12. Andrew Carnes had 5 for the 19 machine. Nathan Graham ended up with 3. Tyler Justice actually ended up leading the most laps here tonight. 15 for the 33. However, will end up finishing in the 19th position. So an unfortunate early exit for yet another top contender. It has been a wild race from start to finish. But as we make our way down into turn 3, we will take the green flag with just 2 laps to go. Who can dethrone Rick Ray Vaughn at Indianapolis Motor Speedway? It could be anybody at this point in the race. Anything can happen. As we have seen, anything will. Every single driver on the field has used their fast repair on the night. It is all out from here. Pace car comes off. Rick Ravon down the front stretch. Clark, Daly, Provo, Gosh, Libke, Kirsten, Menace, Ham, and Deering making up the top 10. And it is on. Menace immediately steps out of line. Regis Clark took a look to the inside. Didn't do anything with it. Rick Ravon defending the inside line down through turn 2. We'll see how he reacts here. Coming down the back stretch, a shot to the outside for Skylar Daly. 3 wide near lead. Regis Clark middle. Rick Ravon bottom. 2 by 2, 4 rows deep.
Wavy, this is going to get really, really interesting. See how this bad boy turns out. Zachary Menace absolutely way back there in the picture. Rick Ravon coming to the white flag. Big send by Skylar Daly. Tries to go up the middle, not able to do it. White flag is in the air. Regis Clark stuck in the middle. How about Christopher Gosh in the 91? Gosh going to take it up on the top side, try to make it stick. He'll go to third. Regis Clark, they're wrecking behind him. All kinds of chaos on the backstretch. Clark up top. Ravon down in the grass. Gosh up top. 3 wide and 3 for the final time.
Down through 3, coming out, and nearly contact between our top 2. Regis Clark, Rick Ravon. Ravon with the advantage, but don't take your eyes off the 91. Here we go, side by side. Who's it going to be? 3 wide finish in Indianapolis. Christopher Gosh in the 91 takes it. What a win for the 91 to dethrone Rick Ravon from a potential perfect season. Regis Clark takes P3 on the night. What a race finish after such a hectic 75 laps. He only led 1, but that's all he needed. Christopher Gosh, your race winner at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Wow. I mean, one word is all that you could really say about that right there, Logan, is wow. I mean, what a finish. Raced clean all the way through that last lap. I mean, you had no idea. It's like I said a while ago, we have no idea who's going to win this. We have no idea how it's going to finish out. And there you see it right there. Gosh, burning it down on the front stretch. You mentioned it only led 1 lap, but it was the one that counted, and he ends up getting the win at Indy.
I couldn't quite tell, but it looked like the 91 might have broken the golden rule, doing a burnout across the bricks, but parks it right on it. There you go. Picture perfect finish for the 91. Christopher Gosh, congratulations. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, get set up for the post-race show where we will have interviews with our top 3 and see just how high these emotions are for the 91. Stick around. We'll be right back.
A thriving job market and low cost of living, plus a wide range of veteran benefits, make Indiana the perfect place for veterans of the United States military to call home. InVets can help you find that home. We're an organization started by veterans to help former service members transition to civilian life in our state. InVets can help you find the community with the career opportunities, housing, schools, and amenities that fit your lifestyle. To learn more about InVets, visit us at invets.org today.
Welcome back to the heart of Indiana, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A fantastic finish we saw with the 91 taking home his first victory of the season. Bring up our race finishing results here for you. That way you can see just how it all shook out. Christopher Gosch, again, the 91 taking home the win here tonight. Rick Ray Vaughn dethroned for the first time naturally this season. Regis Clark rounds out our top three with Jason Kristen in the 82. A quiet night for him, finishes out P4. Skylar Daly in the 22 takes home 5th with Jake Ham in the 85 and 6th. Devin Smith takes home 7th on the night. James Goshen in 8th. Kyle Deering in the 50 takes home 9th with Zachary Minnis rounding out our top 10. The 77 of Ryzen Baker started on the pole and unfortunately finishes back in 11th with the 08 of Brian Provo taking home P12. The 16 of Jamie Lipke gets 13th on the night with Casey Jones on the 34 taking home 14th. The 15th position goes to the 19 of Andrew Carnes with Mike Browning behind in 16th. The 17th spot goes to Nathan Graham with Samuel Yosef taking home 18th. Tyler Justice up at the front of the field for a good portion of the race. Unfortunate early exit for him, finishes P19 with Matthias Marcamini rounding out our top 20. Jeremy Gardner, a heavy hitter that got taken out early, the 42, finishes out in 21st with Doug Ellingson and Jake Ellingson in tow, 22nd and 23rd. Jonathan Lawless in the 24th spot for the night with Rob Kubat rounding out our 25-car field. And again, a big shout out to Charles Aber and Noah Hoagie Hogard running race control for us here tonight. Let's get a word with our podium finishers. We'll take a moment here, start out with our number one finishing spot, Christopher Gosch. Christopher Gosch, you've got Logan and Jake Reeves up here in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy, driver?
Yep.
Man, oh man, what an exciting finish. We had carnage from start to end. You got one lap led, but it's the most important one, being the first driver of the season to naturally beat Rick Ray Vaughn in the one. What are the emotions like in the garage of the 91 team here tonight at Indianapolis?
Well, I'm really excited. I didn't really think that was going to happen after that wreck early on, but I just tried to stay focused and not give up too much, and then just try and be there at the end.
We did exactly that. Now the move here at the very end, the 3 wide, you had the draft from the middle car, Regis Clark, who ended up falling back to 3rd. Just how much momentum do you think that you had? Because it was narrow, just a 0.014 separation between you and Ray Vaughn, 0.027 with Regis Clark.
Yeah, I was kind of wishing it was going to be a little more. That was pretty close for comfort, but I was just trying to throw whatever I could at it and hope something stuck, and I guess it did when it counted.
That it did. Well, congratulations, Christopher Gosch, race win number 1 on the season. Who do you have to say thanks to? Any shout outs that you'd like to give?
I'd like to thank Lincoln Tech, Save 22, Indiana Department of Veteran Affairs, and then my mom and dad.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again, Christopher. A well-deserved week off next week, and then we will see you right back for some more road course action.
Great. Thank you.
Christopher Gosch, everybody, race winner here at Indianapolis. And we'll take it down to Jake Reeves, who's standing by with our P2 finisher. That will be the number 1 of Rick Ray Vaughn.
Buddy, Rick Ray Vaughn, buddy, I got to tell you, I mean, this is, it's got to be a heartbreaker right there. I mean, talk us through that last lap right there with all 3 of you going at it. I mean, you, Christopher Gosch, Regis Clark, I mean, talk us through that whole last lap.
I don't know. I was just trying to stay on the bottom line. It was the fast way around. There was a ton of grip. And if I can come off at turn 4, as long as nobody got a monster run from behind, it'll be okay. But, I'm really disappointed because they said that it wasn't a green-white checker. And when I passed Regis for the lead and the yellow came out, there was only I think 2 laps to go or 3 laps to go, whatever it was, we weren't going to go green. And I was kind of celebrating. I'm like, all right, And next thing you know, there's a green, white checker. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, you got to be kidding me. So I don't know what happened there, but this, bitterly disappointed. I kind of feel like that one was stolen from me. Wow. I mean, I don't mean to sound like a crybaby. I know I have some victories this season, but still, I mean, it's the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and there's a lot on the line and pride or whatever else. And when you think you had it won, all of a sudden, oh no.
Yeah, I mean, you hate to see that right there for you, Rick. Well, buddy, I mean, but you still come out of this with second. You still get you a good finish, get that points lead and all that good stuff to be able to help yourself out. But congratulations on the second place finish here tonight. And as we always say, which, I mean, hell, you finished up here at the front. You know how you get it done. Please thank your sponsors and your shout-outs, bud.
Well, I want to thank Jam Printing and Promotions. I want to thank you guys, V-Speed. Thanks to the people at Goat Locker Racing. Lincoln Tech, of course, for sponsoring the series. And Alexander PCs, baby. Great place. Thanks to my wife, thanks to my kids, thanks to the Lord Jesus for dying on the cross for me. And I guess that's about it. I want to congratulate Chris Gosh. He snookered us there. Great job.
A little snooker job, but hey, Rick Rayvon, he comes out of it with a second place finish. Rick, buddy, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the second place finish. We'll see you next week, bud.
Thank you, Jake. God bless you.
God bless you too, Rick. That was Rick Rayvon coming home with second here tonight. Now, Logan, you standing by with third place, which I thought he was going to have a shot with it. Regis Clark.
I certainly thought so as well. Standing by with Regis Clark. Man, 12 laps led. You were in the battle the entire time we had this race going. Green flags, yellow flags, it didn't matter. You seemed to be in at least the top 5 for, I'd say, well over 80% of this race. What did it take to keep this number 8 machine up here for so long and be so consistent?
Well, I did have that incident early in the race where I had to come fight my way back to the field. It's just like putting the car in clean air, setting yourself offset from the car in front of you and getting the drive off, keeping it clean.
You did a great job of that. That was a fantastic drive back up through the field. Obviously, the one fast repair on the night being used by every single driver out here, but you made some very fast lap times. You were one of the fastest drivers on the track, only a handful down into the mid 40-second bracket. But congratulations on a P3 finish here tonight. Not quite what you're looking for, but that late race move from Christopher Gosh has barely got you guys separated. There's just 0.04 seconds separating the entire podium finishers. Now, Regis Clark, it was a drive of a lifetime here. Certainly could have had a better outcome, but cannot complain with a P3 finish on the night. Who would you like to say thanks to for the effort here at Indianapolis? Any sponsors, families that you'd like to shout out?
Jam Printing and Promotions. They do a lot of stuff for Goat Locker. Lincoln Tech, obviously sponsoring this IndyCar series. V-Speed, I know you guys are doing great work with the broadcast. And Alexander PCs for all your iRacing PC needs.
Well, like I mentioned to our race winner, a well-deserved week off next week for our drivers. Take some rest time, and we will catch up with you on the 14th when we kick this back off for the rest of the season. Congratulations once again, Regis. Get to celebrating, buddy.
Yep, thank you all.
Well, Jake, that wraps things up here for what was a hectic yet fantastic race at Indianapolis. A big shout out to all of our sponsors, MK Fire Design, Jam Printing and Promotions, Glove Station, InVet, Save 22, Cruisin' Classics, Hidden Wit Brewery, and Nasty's Bar and Grill. Jake, briefly, what were your thoughts on tonight's race?
I mean, literally. I mean, it was straight up chaos all the way from the start, all the way to the finish. I mean, everybody got what they wanted out of this one right here, Logan. I mean, you had your wild wrecks, you had your killer racing, and you had a hell of a finish right there out of it. I hate to say that, you know, I hate it for Rick Ray Vaughn. I mean, he looked like he was going to be in prime position, but Christopher Gosh out of nowhere. I mean, baby, that's how you do it.
That is exactly how you draw that play up. Again, next week is a bye week for the entire Goat Locker Racing League, but don't forget, Wednesday, October 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern, the Goat Locker Racing fundraiser race. You don't want to miss out on that one. The ARCA Car Series has been phenomenal on Monday nights. We're going to see them at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for a 100-lap race to determine who will be the winner of what could be a lot of really good prizes, a lot of prizes being given away during the broadcast. Don't forget to go visit that link. We could bring that one more time back up on the screen, Michael. Let these people get another look. We'll get it up here. There we go. go.rallyup.com/GLR fundraiser. You can see all the prizes being given away and take part, get some donations going to help us meet that goal and give away more and more of these sim rigs to well-deserving veterans and first responders. But that will be all for tonight. For Patrick Drabick, Jamie Barkas, and everybody else behind the scenes at Goat Locker, for Adam Baker, Bradley Cooper, Morgan Cook, Eddie Smith, and the rest of the crew at V-Speed. Jake Reeves in the booth with me tonight. Thank you, sir, and Michael McCarthy doing a fantastic job running the production truck with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. I'm Logan Threlkeld signing off, and we hope to see you all next week for that fundraiser race, and then the week after when we get right back to Detroit Street Circuit for the Indy Car Series. Good night, everybody.